Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm starting with a little bit of spun sugar distress ink, and I'm just going to place that on my nonstick craft sheet and then spritz it with water, and then I'm going to place my watercolor cardstock right in there and then squish it around, and I want it kind of focused on the right hand side of my card, so I'm just going to kind of place it in that area, and then I'm going to take my heat tool and dry it. Now you might not be able to see it on camera because it's such a light pink, but then I'm going to dab it back into that ink that's still on my paper and just pick up some more color and then dry it. It's a really subtle background, but you can see it in person. It doesn't pick it up quite as well on camera. And then I'm going to take this medium dot stencil from Simon Says Stamp and just place this down with a little bit of washi tape. And then I have this metallic gold embossing paste. It's really shiny and fun to add onto your card. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this, and it's going to be in the same area that I added that watercolor. So that little bit of pink. So it's going to have a pink and gold background. I'm just going to scrape off all of the excess and then pick up my stencil, and you can see how cool that looks on the background. So the stamp set I'm going to be using today is the Some Bunny set from Mint Owl Studio. I'm going to stamp this little bunny that's hugging the heart with my Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm stamping this on a piece of Coordination's 110-pound cardstock. And I left this little bit in here so that you all can see my little friend that always has to help me when I am creating cards. She always has to be right by me, and this time she decided to jump up on the table, so I had to set her back down. But I'm just going to ink up my stamp and then stamp this down. And then I made sure it was completely dried with my heat tool, and then I'm going to color it in with my Copic markers. So for the bunny, I'm using the W1, and I'm just coloring in the entire bunny with this light gray color. It's kind of my base color, and it's going to help the other colors blend even better. Alright, and then a little bit of shading, I'm using the W3, and I just use kind of a flicking motion to get that so that it's not so concentrated in one area, and it kind of helps lighten it out and fade out that color. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of the W5. And then I'm just going to add this RV10 into the ears, but I'm going to go over it all again with the W1, so that pink really isn't going to stand out that much, but it's just going to add that little bit of color into the ears. It's all about the details in cards. Those are really what help make those cards and make people say wow, on your card. So then I just added a little bit more of that W3 to help it blend even better. For the heart, I'm going to color this in with my RV63. It's kind of a pinkish purple color, but it's a really pretty color, and it kind of matches that background. And then I'm going to add in some shading with the RV66. It looks really, really dark right now, but I'm also going to add something into the end that's actually going to hide most of this pink color. I wasn't planning on adding that, but I wanted a little bit more pink or gold on the card, I should say. So you'll see how I finish this card in the end. But I'm adding the RV69 in right now. And then I'm going to blend all of this with the RV66. I'm just adding that and blending that darker color out, and then I'm going to blend the entire thing with that RV63 once again. And it does take a little bit of work working with the reds and the dark pinks to make them blend, but you just have to keep adding in your ink, and then that color will really blend out. So like I said, to help it blend, I'm just adding more of that RV66, and then I'll blend that once again with the RV63. So it's just kind of trial and error, adding in more ink, blending it out, just seeing how it works for you. Alright, so I fussy cut that out once I was done. Now I'm going to work on my sentiment. I have this black strip of cardstock, and I'm just going to go over it with my powder tool because I'm going to be heat embossing just so that I don't get any stray embossing powder pieces on there. I'm using the same Some Bunny stamp set that I used before, and I'm choosing the sentiment that says Love Always. So I'll put this on my clear acrylic block and then ink it up with the Versamark ink, and then I'm just going to stamp it right towards the end of that banner. And then I'm going to be heat embossing this with the Hero Arts white embossing powder. So I'm just going to place my piece of cardstock down. This is so that I can catch all of that extra embossing powder and then funnel it right back into the jar. So I'll tap off all the extra and then heat emboss this with my heat tool. So I die cut this Simon Says stamp stitch circle out of a piece of vellum that I'm going to be adding. It's just going to be a backing for the bunny, and it's going to make it stand out a little bit from that background so it's not such a harsh background. I adhered it down with a little bit of adhesive, and then I took this piece of pink cardstock. It was just a scrap that I had, and I'm going to place that down and then also adhere down my sentiment strip. Alright, and then I trimmed off all that extra vellum and pieces of cardstock. I took my tiny attacher and just added a few staples. I thought it was kind of a cool touch to add to this card, especially with the more like mixed media type background. I'm taking this dark pink strip of cardstock and adding it to my right hand side of my card base, and then I'm going to adhere down my watercolor and embossing paste piece on top of that so you can see how that little bit of dark pink stands out on the side. Alright, so I'm going to pop up my bunny with some 3D foam squares from Best Creation. And I'm going to place this down right on top of that black strip of cardstock. So it's going to be overlapping it slightly. And then I'm going to be adding in a few different sequins. So I first took some from the gold, and all of these are from Mint Owl Studio. And then I am taking some of the sequins from the chocolate truffle mix, pulling out the white ones. So that's the nice thing about these sequin mixes, is that you can pull out all of the colors or just pick one of the colors. And then I'm going to pick out the light pink that is in the Hearts and Kisses sequin mix. And all of these supplies I'm using on this card will be linked below if you're interested. And I'm just adhering these down with a little bit of multi-matte medium that I squirted out onto my nonstick craft sheet. So I'm just picking up each of the sequins with my tweezers and then adding the adhesive on the back. So like I said, for this heart, I'm going to add this Irresistible in gold to the heart. So the color is not quite going to stand out. You can see the pink a little bit on the edges of the heart once it is dried. But I'm going to cover the entire heart in with this gold, and it's a metallic gold shimmer, so it matches the background perfectly. And this is kind of like glossy accents, but it's a little bit more liquidy and it's metallic. So then I just have to let this dry, and this stuff does not take that long to dry. I'd say about an hour and it's pretty set. Alright, and then this is my finished card for today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll have all the information about the hop linked down below and on my blog if you're interested in Dana's blog hop. So I thank you guys for joining me, If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. I have tons of videos and you don't want to miss any of the newest ones. And I will see you guys back here next time. Bye everyone!